Market sentiment is now destroyed. But I have the feeling that something is off about Bitcoin price. And that's exactly what I'm breaking down for you in today's video. Because although we have closed below the 50 weekly moving average and the price continues to trend down, I cannot ignore other types of data that are telling me that this is just a reset. On top of that, we are going to check some key crypto charts, such as Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. Crucial price setups and the most relevant market news for you to stay ahead. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and check out some of my recent uploads. Now let's jump straight into the core of today's content. So based on my previous video, we have a strong evidence that right now our context is bearish. Bitcoin price closed below the 50 weekly moving average and market sentiment is on extreme fear. And although I am getting ready for a bearish setup for my trades, which I'm going to show later in this video, I believe that something is not quite right about this drop. And I think that 941 summarized pretty much what I was thinking. If we were indeed in a macro top about to start a bear market, the first thing that we were going to notice would be that the bonds would scream higher. And I don't see this happening. As you can see right here, we are still trending down on the bonds market. Second information will be that the US dollar index would explode. And although since September we are trending up, I do not see a significant spike that would justify the top. VIX would go to 40, but that's right, it is still at around 24.69. Credit spreads would widen. Same way, a little bit of an increase, but not a spike like we have seen before. This was on April, by the way, during the tariff tantrum. Look at the difference. Bitcoin would fall 25% in a single candle, which, you know, of course, did not happen. So I wanted to discuss with you guys right here two possible scenarios for the upcoming days. The first one will be a more bullish scenario and the second one will be a bearish scenario. And the first thing I'm going to look at is the DXY. If we start to reverse the DXY and it trends down, we are actually going to start to go up on Bitcoin and crypto. However, if we continue to trend up, especially if we cross previous swing highs, then yes, I believe that the bear market is started. The second point of information is the M2 global liquidity. If liquidity continues to lose momentum and the M2 growth and borrowing rate continues to go down or stays flat, yes, Bitcoin will continue to the bear market. But if we shouldn't get a liquidity spike and the M2 growth rate recovers, guess what? That's going to be a bullish scenario. So pretty much was my forecast at the beginning of the month that we are going to have a small drop to the 50 weekly, but then continue to go higher, which of course did not happen. When it comes to the cycles perspective, I still do not have a confirmation about the daily and the weekly cycle low. From my analysis, until the price does not break out from the 10 daily moving average, we still cannot confirm the daily and the weekly cycle low. So it's like I said right here on Twitter, do not try to guess the bottom. Everything that we can do right now is to just go one day at a time until we have a confirmation of the daily cycle low closing above the 10 daily moving average. So this is a patient game. And another piece of information that I'm closely watching is how the gold is behaving. If you see right here, we are losing momentum from gold, which means that we are losing steam from the risk off assets. And if gold continues to go down, we're definitely going to have some bullish momentum for risky assets. We can also see that liquidation has been taken from this huge cluster right here from the 1 year of the liquidation heat map. And from what we see right here, most of the liquidation is still sitting above the price. Now, there's something that I noticed about the ETF inflow. You will notice that we are actually getting some major outflow from the market. But let me show you exactly when I saw that happening previously, right here on April. So although the bearish sentiment is quite high, we cannot disregard the possibility of a recover of liquidity from the ETF's inflow, and then the price quickly recovers to the upside. So this will be a similar behavior from what we got from April. Let me get the fractal here. It will be something like this. We would have a push to the upside, maybe a second drop, and then we continue to go higher. But I would not expect the price to continue to go up further on 2026. I think that no later than Q1, we would start to see the price to come back down when we actually start the bear market. The next possibility will be a more aggressive price recover, like this one. Now, how do I know that we have the feeling if we reach the bottom? The first thing that's going to happen is that following the bottom, we are going to see a lot of volatility. You can see that's already happened from the news. A lot of stuff is about to happen. One of each, the Epstein files, which of course is going to impact the US not only from the political point of view, but also from the economic. And also Trump is about to give signs that he is going to say who is going to be the next Fed. And also consider that during this week, we are going to have the economic data back to be released. FOMC meetings tomorrow, actually if you're watching this video later today, jobless claims, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, so on and so forth. So you can be ready that we are going to see a lot of volatility still this week. And quite personally, when it comes to price setups, I still do not have a clear view at this level. What I do know, however, is that we are going to have a retest to the upside because the price cannot continue to go further down indefinitely. All I can say is that for Bitcoin at least, we are on the RSI quite low since the beginning of the year, specifically since February. And also the DSS can show signs of a reversal anytime soon. But I'm going to watch the price, how it is going to behave over the following days, and I'm going to place my trade after I have a confirmation of the 10 daily moving average. Ethereum is actually showing a point of interest at around this 3000 level. If the sentiment of the market flips bullish, this is going to be a quite interesting level for a long position. XRP is also out of the daily cycle low window, but it is still losing momentum. The context for XRP is quite bearish, so I would be waiting for a retest at this level right here before the price continues to go further down. Solana is still also losing momentum and did not reach the point of interest that I drove right here from our previous video, so I'm waiting for the price to come back up. And Zcash can flip bearish at any moment. I think that this coin has already given whatever it had to offer, and a shorting right here will be quite interesting. But I would like to hear you guys in the comments. Do you think that we are actually about to start the bear market? Or do you also think there is something weird about the Bitcoin price and that we might actually get some last push in 2025? Thanks for watching.